Hey guys, this is John from US Dash Camera. Today I got a review on the new Nexar beam. Now, actually this has been around for a little while. This one they told me was one of their newer models, and Nexar actually did reach out to me and asked if I wanted to review their camera. I never used a Nexar camera before. I have seen advertisements a lot for them, and they always have piqued my interest, but I just never got around to buying one myself, and then they reached out to me, so I'd like to thank them for offering this review unit. Of course, if you are interested in this camera or any of the other ones I mentioned, I always put affiliate links down in the description that do help the channel, so check those out down below. So what's special about Nexar cameras is they specialize in a smartphone app that seems to be very developed based on the advertisements. They offer free cloud services, so your files will automatically upload to the cloud, and you can share links to yourself through email or directly to your insurance company from the cloud. The camera is always recording both to the memory card and also your phone, so you have a bit of redundancy in the recording. And then they also offer all sorts of features such as GPS navigation, Alexa voice control support. You can ask the app where you parked and it will tell you where you parked. But the problem is a lot of these advanced features didn't seem to be available for me. Now, some of these features are still available on Android, but many of those advanced features are currently only available on iOS devices. It does still record to your phone at all times, and there still is the cloud uploading, but a lot of those features are not available on Android currently. So I'm going to talk about which features I was able to test because I only have an Android, and I'll talk about which features I wasn't able to and the pros and cons of this camera. I had a lot of positive things to say about this camera, but also there were quite a lot of negatives also. I feel like this is a very promising product, but because of several issues, it's falls somewhere in the middle. I was actually considering, I still might, but considering using this as my camera in my work truck because I did like it enough, so I will say that. But we'll talk about the pros and the many cons that gave me mixed feelings about this. So looking at the camera itself, you can see it's pretty small, but it does come with only a suction cup mount, and there's no screen on the back. Even though it looks like it was designed to be used with a screen, everything is controlled by the app. The app itself is pretty easy to set up, and we'll talk about that in a second. But before we move on to software, I do want to talk about this hardware. So this kind of mount isn't uncommon. I've used many like this, but one con I had right away was I didn't like how this plugs into here. They advertise this as having built-in GPS, but this is not built-in, and this is even a bigger issue. That puts a lot of stress on that cable. So literally the first day I started using this cable pulled out. After just twisting it maybe 3 or 4 times, it ripped out. So Nexar sent me out a replacement. You can actually buy the mount separately, but that was sort of disappointing to start out with on the first day of testing. But as I said, it's not really built-in GPS. I think that's a little misleading. But if you look at some other cameras like what Vantrue does, I really prefer what they do. This is one of their newer models, the N2S. It also has this external GPS, and I would consider this external, but there's no cable that plugs into the camera separately. It's built into the mount. So you plug your power cord in and then snap that on. Besides that though, the hardware seems fine. It would be nice if they had a adhesive mount, but suction cup mounts are nice if you want to move them around between vehicles. I just still am a little skeptical of this design because, like I said, it puts a lot of force on that cable. So let's talk about some of the good things about this camera. For one, the video quality is definitely adequate. It's only 1080p, but I think it's very acceptable. I thought the video quality looks pretty good. At night it also still looks pretty good. It's not the best out there, but again, it's only just over $100 for a camera with some pretty smart smartphone features. Now, setting this camera up is incredibly easy. Probably the most pleasant surprise about this camera was how easy the app was to set up. There's no Wi-Fi password that you need to type in. Although one con for some people is you do have to give the app your phone number. And the way it confirms your phone is it sends your phone a key code or security code, and then you type that into the app, and then it verifies your phone. So the setup was very easy, super easy to set up, and I really liked that. But then the app is where it starts to go downhill after that. So the main purpose of the app is as soon as the camera starts up, it's constantly recording to your phone, and you can actually set how much memory you reserve for the app. The files that record to your phone save as one long clip that is your entire drive, and then through the app you can edit it down, but what was bothering me is I could not trim the clip like I wanted to. As I dragged my finger left or right, it pulled the whole clip trim left or right with it. It didn't give me very much leeway, where in the videos or in the advertisements and even other people's reviews, it showed them able to lengthen it and have a lot more control than I had. So once you save that clip, it saves it into a different category called clips, and then with that you can either send it to your email, you can send it to your insurance provider. But one thing that bothered me is I couldn't just save it to my phone. I looked through my phone's memory and I couldn't find those clips, and it's got to be there somewhere. So if it is there somewhere and you guys know where it is, just let me know down in the comments. But I did not see that footage when I plugged in my phone and browsed through all of my folders. I even asked the representative and they suggested I share it to something like my Google Drive, but I just want to be able to save the clip. Like, that is very frustrating to me. In the advertisement video, it shows a lot of features such as using Alexa to capture or save a video. It shows navigation. It shows all sorts of features that I don't get because I have an Android phone. They say it's coming to Android, but Nexar's been around for a while, so that was pretty disappointing to see that this company that I've seen advertisements for quite a while doesn't have full Android support yet. When I was trying to research why I wasn't finding some of the features in the advertisement, I ended up watching some reviews from other YouTubers, and I was sort of disappointed to see that a lot of the reviewers basically just covered the features and said what's included and showed some video and said it, gave rave reviews, and I was a little, confused by that. I did end up finding another reviewer, can't remember his name off the top of my head. I'll overlay some clip of him, and he was the only one that I felt, or not, I shouldn't say only one, but one of the few people that was giving a pretty honest review, and he had a lot of the same sentiments that I had. Now, one reviewer I watched, he was talking about how if you don't have your phone it won't record, and then he had a subtitle that corrected saying if you can use the memory card to record to it, and that's the weird thing. Now, I'm not saying that guy's review was bad or anything. He wasn't. He was actually very detailed. I don't remember what his channels was called either, but it's also recording to the memory card as long as you have the memory card in there. But the big con of that, the video being sent to your phone is not 1080p. It's only 720p and only about 4 megabits per second. That's really low bitrate. When I wanted to save an incident where someone almost changed lanes into someone, you can see the video was really choppy. Now, this doesn't always happen, but for whatever reason, when I finally wanted to save a clip, it was very choppy and it just looked bad. So that was a big issue for me. So I would say if you get this camera, use a memory card and depend on your memory card, and use the phone app just as a nice backup. So it is sort of cool that you do have a redundancy. That means you're recording to 2 different locations. So if your phone for whatever fails to record, which it does sometimes, then hopefully your memory card didn't fail. That does give you a little extra security. But as I said, it does fail sometimes. And that first reviewer I read mentioned that, and when he said that, I thought, oh, that's weird. I haven't had that happen to me. But I continued to use it, and sure enough, it happened to me. So some of you may have seen my video. I showed just a clip of my car had its catalytic converter stolen, and it was just an audio sample from this camera actually recording how loud the car was. And in that video, it actually doesn't do it justice. This camera doesn't have that great of audio quality, so that was very disappointing too. But you know, you can hear what you need to. It's just, for a camera over $100, I would expect it to be clearer than that. But the issue was that day when I noticed the catalytic converter was stolen, I started my car, started backing out, and because it's a Prius, the engine didn't kick on until I actually put it into gear and started reversing. Then I immediately knew my catalytic converter was stolen because I know all about the crime wave. So I pulled back into the parking spot, parked it. The camera continued to record several hours of just black footage to my phone. Just all of the footage over the next few hours. When I drove around the parking lot, it was gone. That footage just was gone. So, you know, luckily I had it on my memory card. So that clip I uploaded was from my memory card because it failed to record to my phone. So I was pretty upset about that. Now, one of the cool features is the cloud support. Using your phone, it will upload clips to the cloud free. You don't have to pay anything. But the problem with it is the video quality just isn't great. All I'm seeing are the low frame rate videos, and they're not that useful. So the concept is cool, but it's just not fleshed out enough. It's not useful enough that, you know, with the memory card and then the redundancy of your phone, I think that's plenty. And the cloud, honestly, just, I think all I'm doing is wasting battery life. And that's part of the problem, is this is constantly recording to your phone. It's draining your battery quicker, and then every time you get home and get on your Wi-Fi, it's constantly uploading those low frame rate, low bit rate clips. And after a while I start getting annoyed with the notifications. So I would recommend turning off all of those notifications if you're going to use this with all of the cloud features. But besides the lack of GPS navigation or the Alexa support on Android, there's a lot of other things from the app that just seem mind-boggling to me that aren't there. For example, I put a memory card in there that I knew already had footage on it. Typically it's recommended you format the memory card in the actual camera, but there's no way to format the memory card in the app. So I had to take the memory card out, go to my computer, format it on my computer to erase all of the existing footage from the previous testing camera I was using, and then put it back into the camera. I just can't believe that there's no way to format your memory card in the app. You know, while it is nice that it's recording those clips to your phone, there's no way to just transfer one of the 1080p clips to your phone. So if you want the 1080p clip, you do have to take the memory card out and either use some sort of adapter to connect your phone or to your PC. The fact that you can't get the full 1080p higher quality footage over the app is just such a huge con to me. I think that while, like I said, the redundancy of how it records to your phone is nice, I want to be able to get my high quality 1080p clips directly through the app, like pretty much every other dash camera with a Wi-Fi app. I'd like to see these features more fully fleshed out, and I think some people could make use of it, like being able to send a clip directly to your insurance company. But as of the way it works now, I just think it's a little half-baked. So guys, overall, like I said at the beginning of this, I actually want to use this as my main camera for my work truck. I thought the video quality was fine. I liked the redundancy of the app recording to your phone. Even though it doesn't work all the time, it is still sort of a nice feature. You just have to accept that you're not getting the full 1080p, and if you want that full clip, you do have to get it off the memory card. I don't think this is a bad camera. The video quality is fine. The build of it is okay. It's not unusually cheap or anything. It feels pretty average. It's got a basic clean design. I think most people would be happy with it, but like I said, use a memory card. Do not depend on the phone app. And you know, I'd like to see the phone app more developed. Maybe in the future, once the Android app gets updated more, I'll do a follow-up. As I said, I do plan on keeping this camera, and I think I'm going to use it as my main work truck camera. So that is a good enough statement, I think, to say I don't dislike this camera. I like it enough that I want to use it in my work truck, and during the summer I'm going to be driving that 5 days a week. So hopefully, those Android updates come soon and I'll be able to follow up with you guys on how it's improved. But until then, if you're interested in buying it right now, maybe you aren't sure if you feel like those updates are going to be worth it or not, then that's up to you. Overall, the camera is a pretty mixed bag for me, but some of the stuff they are doing is very unique. And while I was very negative on some of the aspects of how it seemed like it's not fully fleshed out or a little half-baked, it's still really unique what they're trying to do. So I'm hoping as they continue to develop this that it gets better and better, because I really like the concept of being able to record to your phone as a backup so you have redundancy on your recordings, where if one fails, hopefully the other didn't also. So if you guys are interested in purchasing this camera, check down below in the description. And I appreciate any time a company is willing to send me a review unit. So I'd like to thank Nexar again. So if you liked this video or my other videos, I'd appreciate if you hit like and subscribe. And as usual, drive safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.